Just a minute past 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Tonight at 8. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and we are joined with Yusuf Senyomo on sign language. Thank you so much. Now let's delve into the bulletin. Officials from Electricity Regulatory Authority have expressed the need for government to invest in an alternative distribution network to have an effective network and stable power in the country. They were appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to answer queries to the Auditor General's report for financial year 2022-2023.
Officials from Electricity Regulatory Authority, led by the Managing Director, Engineer Ziria Tibarwa Wako, have appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises (COSASE) to answer queries in the Auditor General's report for year ending June 2023. According to the Auditor General's report, the entity had budgeted to collect 90 billion shillings during the year under review, but collected 77 billion, which was under collection.
What was the basis of your projection in budgeting? Because how do you explain a difference of 12 billion? You're just a small organization.
The Managing Director, ERA, Engineer Ziria Tibarwa Wako, said they projected to do customer connection and rely on funding from government, but the flow of materials did not go through, hence ending up connecting only 12,000 customers out of the targeted 35,000 customers.
So that was the hiccup, and affected our repertory sales. At the same time, it also have an implication on the sale of powers. For is arising from the economic shocks that happened during COVID, when funding for the free connection under ECP, electricity connection policy, was removed to manage the COVID environment.
Members of Parliament expressed concern that some people paid money to participate in free connection and it was received by the regulatory authority, but they were not connected.
He has to pay, and he's a taxpayer. And for us, members of we approve the loan here, that very customer who paid is a taxpayer who again pay this loan. Isn't that double payment to the customer?
People paid money to get that, to participate in that free connection. Money was received. The project was terminated. What happened?
The free connection has resumed. For the customers who had applied and paid their money for inspection under the hybrid, they don't need now to pay the 200,000, because what we shall do and what we are doing actually is to just convert them under ECP, the free connection policy. If this line is out for maintenance, the customers, the other end, could receive power in the alternative. So if we have lines which are missing some alternatives, if there is a fault in the middle, the end user will not achieve power. As per now, based on our assessment, the distribution network needs fair investment, and in our plan, plus the tariff application that we've done to the regulator and the government, we have ably submitted that and mentioned it. We need a minimum of about $70 million for 5 years to have a stable environment.
Engineer Tibarwa says from the preliminary results of the just concluded census exercise, they have a big number of households they need to connect to the national grid.
The census came with 10.2 million households. Out of the 10.2, on the grid, we have about 2.2 million connections. That means the grid needs another 8 million. But some out of the 8, they're on solar off-grid energy. So there is another assignment as a country that we need to connect the 5 million customers And what
Through rationalization of government agencies, Umeme will be merged with IRA and cease operations next year. Members of Parliament were interested to know how their recruitment plan is going to look like in the budget and how they are going to handle faulty transformers in different parts of the country.
No, because you're talking about the Minister of Energy. I don't know what you think the minister should do as a technical person, because the poles are there, the lines are there, part of the line was vandalized, and when you tell me, say that's already not our line, Roya says we don't know where the contractor is, I don't know what happened.
have suggested that let the Ministry of Energy do rescope the pending works, and if possible they can contract other contractors, or they can remit the money to the utilities operating in those areas, and we complete those projects. Because for us, we are ready, but we need the financial resources.
I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Ngwetabenji at Parliament.
Well, thank you very much then, Namfuka Farida. Now, Namibia's Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security has clarified on the non-existence of a visa for His Highness or Royal Highness Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II of the Uganda Kingdom. Kabaka Mutebi entered Namibia on the 14th of April 2024 for a private medical visit with a maximum stay of 90 days granted under Section 29 of the Immigration Control Act 1993. Despite private nature of his visit, controversies arose among some of the alleged subjects, leading to allegations of illegal detention and conspiracy. Demonstrations at the Namibian Democratic missions ensued, jeopardizing the security of Namibian officials. The Namibian government emphasized the visit's private nature and engaged with Ugandan authorities and the royal family. However, the disruptive activities continued, prompting Namibia to deny the visa extension based on security considerations and international law. The ministry has communicated this decision to all relevant parties. Well, we will be updating you more on that particular story. Now, as we head over Kikube, the death toll on the Hoima road crash that involved Kikube police vehicle registration number UP9799 has risen to 9. The accident that occurred around 3:20 p.m. on Thursday evening at Kitegwa B village in Kabale Parish, Kabale Sub-County, Hoima District, left 7 people dead.
On Thursday evening, a police vehicle that was carrying murder suspects back to the scene of crime lost control and skidded off the road, killing 7 people instantly and injuring several others.
The police evidence they were around 14.
By press time Friday, the death toll had risen to 9, as confirmed by the Albertine Region Police spokesperson, Julius Hakiza.
Then so far we lost 9, and we still have officers who are still admitted.
The additional 2 died upon arrival at Hoima Regional Referral and Mulago National Referral Hospitals, respectively.
So apparently we cannot ascertain what was the cause of the accident. Since the car commander died, the driver whom we expected could tell us a story has also died.
The Albertine Region Police spokesperson, Julius Hakiza, says some of the police officers who perished in the crash were heading to Charushesha in Changwale Sub-County to reconstruct a murder scene. Among the deceased persons include Detective Charles Matubwa Anvizo, the Chikube District Crime Intelligence Officer, Detective AIP Jenny Richard, the in-charge homicide at Chikube Police Station, and Detective Corporal Christine Cheruto, the in-charge of General Desk at Chikube. Others are Detective Samuel Ojambo, attached homicide at Chikube Police, and Raymond Nwamanya, the police driver who died on arrival at Mulago National Referral Hospital last night.
The detective inspector of police, that one died on the spot, and another one, Corporal Cherito Christine, then AIP Jean Richard, this one died upon arrival in the hospital.
The suspects include Mubaraka Ramahi, Martin Munyiza, Peace Tukamushaba, and a 6-month-old infant belonging to Peace Tukamushaba, Julius Kabagambe, and Jonathan Kamujisha.
The 5 suspects that were on board, one identified as Wamaye Mubarak, he died also on the spot. Then Munyiza Martin died on the spot.
Among those who sustained severe injuries are Detective Sergeant Francis Bwango, Police Constable Michael Omwamo, Police Constable Abel Nirinjie, Police Constable Johnson Tumusime, and Apple Turinoha, a special police constable attached to Chikube Police. Peter Banura, the Chikube Resident District Commissioner, visited those admitted at Hoima National Referral Hospital and condoled with the bereaved families.
This road they are using is in a sort of a black spot. Just an unfortunate accident. Accidents happen, but the sensitization drives are a must.
The remains of the deceased were picked up by the police and conveyed to Hoima City Mortuary for post-mortem.
Well, thank you very much there, Arinitwe. Now, as we head still to Namibia, sub-Saharan countries have been called upon to invest significant resources to bridge the existing digital divide. The appeal was made during the benchmarking visit by the Namibian ICT Ministry to his counterpart in Uganda.
And then we'll also see how the number of...
There is a wide digital divide between the rest of the world and Africa, says Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance. In this information age, Uganda and Africa cannot afford to lag behind, says Baryomunsi.
It's important to learn from each other. Yes, we have a huge digital divide in the world. The global north has made a lot of advances in terms of technology, and we in the global south, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, we still have a lot of work to do.
The importance of collaboration among African countries for faster digitization growth and development is vital, says Sebastian Karupu, the Chairman Standing Committee of ICT in Namibia.
We really have benefited a lot from Uganda in terms of information, communication and technology. You are very far ahead. We really have chosen the right country to come and get what we really came for. We have come here to learn about the e-parliament, e-learning, e-health, and many other institutions that are also making use of digital services.
A challenge of funding was cited in this benchmarking visit by the delegation from Namibia. The visitors and the host agreed on the need to financially support innovators and innovations to help them scale.
For any economy to transform, you have to support the innovation ecosystem. You have to support these young people. You have to create programs around that. Otherwise, they'll run in a field where they don't know what to do in a structured manner. So for the innovation spaces, we know that if we support these innovations or innovators, we are going to be able to create employment opportunities for our young people. We are going to be able to generate revenue.
Namibia, with a population of about 3 million people who are sparsely populated, the visitors agree that this visit will yield fruits. Mario Nawori and Stephen Kalisia for UBC.
National Water and Sewerage Corporation aims to expand water to 24 million people by 2027 and 32 million by 2034. This has been disclosed by the Executive Director, National Water and Sewerage Corporation, Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, when unveiling the corporation's 2024-2027 plan in Kampala.
In 2014, National Water and Sewage Corporation served 5 million Ugandans, and by 2021, this number rose to 17.5 million, and to date, 19 million receive clean and safe water. Unveiling the corporation's 2024-2027 plan in Kampala, Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha highlighted the organization's growth over the past decade and unveiled the new corporate plan for 2024-2027.
We have 953,000 connections. Remember, this is water only. If we add sewage, of course, there will be slightly more. In 2027, we are projected in the new corporate plan to serve 1,135,000. And in 10 years' time, we hope to increase this to 1,565,000. You notice that the increase in new connections is not as fast as in the last 10 years because we are really almost reaching 100% coverage.
Financial growth is notable, with annual turnover rising from 180 billion Uganda shillings in 2014 to 635 billion Uganda shillings today.
The annual turnover, which is a measure of the business size of the corporation, 10 years ago, we had a turnover of 180 billion. 3 years ago, we had a turnover of 476 billion. As we talk now, we have a turnover of 635 billion, and this is meant to increase. 2027, actually I didn't put the figure there, sorry, but the figure is 720 billion, which is meant to increase to 867 in 10 years to come.
Addressing challenges like water theft and meter inaccuracies, Dr. Mugisha emphasized ongoing efforts to improve policies and ensure water availability in key areas.
So at night when you flush your toilet, that water that flows through the meter is not counted because it is available, and you can imagine how many people flush toilets at night. So it's a huge problem, but we are addressing it. We are vigorously handling these issues, especially the issue of meter theft, rather of water theft and systemic meter inaccuracies, with the government security agencies on the meter theft part. We are working with police, we are working with internal security organization and other agencies to see how we can reduce meter thefts, rather water thefts.
He expressed confidence in achieving these targets with continued support, promising a brighter future for Uganda's water sector. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, the tourism industry is among Uganda's leading foreign exchange earners, contributing about 5% to the country's GDP. Revenue earnings from the sector hit $1 billion last year, representing a 48.5% growth, a sign that the sector is getting back to pre-pandemic levels. Our reporter Diano Olwenye delves a little bit deeper into the story.
MICE tourism refers to business travel for the purposes of meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions. It is a tourism subsector that is still in its baby stages.
MICE is generally used in an emerging MICE destination as MICE, but destinations that have matured they often use the events industry, the business events industry, but in an emerging destination we use MICE such that our community are able to differentiate what is in M, what is in I, what is in C, what is in E.
Figures from the Uganda Convention Bureau indicate that MICE tourism generated $6 million from 43 conferences hosted in the country last year.
So out of the 43, 19 were association meetings. So that's why we ranked the 7th minus the government meetings. But I can see this year we will rank better, because our goal as UTB is to ensure that we are among the 5 top destinations.
In January this year, Uganda hosted the 27th Commonwealth Speakers Conference. In the same month, Uganda also hosted the Non-Aligned Movement and the G77 Plus China Summits. Hosting these conferences boosted Uganda's visibility as a potential destination for global conferences and events.
We are now putting in bids for bigger conferences. We used to limit ourselves on the kind of meetings or conferences we would bid for because of the capacity. Now we have capacity, that can seat very many in one room at the convention center. So we are actually going for the bigger conferences now.
The International Congress and Convention Association has over the last 5 years ranked Uganda in the top 10 African destinations for hosting international conferences and events.
And so when they ranked Uganda last year, we ranked 7 on the African continent, and Kampala as a city in the city ranking ranked 4 in Africa.
No, definitely the hosting fees is a factor, but also what is important is that at the Uganda Convention Bureau we do the cost-benefit analysis.
Through MICE tourism, Uganda wants to position itself among the top 5 most popular destinations in Africa for hosting international conferences and events. But achieving this feat in a short or a long term will not come cheaply.
MICE has not really been mined according to its potential. We see the potential, we see what it has done for Rwanda, what it has done for Kenya, what it has done for South Africa. We still haven't yet been able to really get that potential in Uganda for very many issues. Accessibility. If you have an event now like we are going to have CAF in 2020, the first thing we need is accessibility. We need domestic flights. There are VIPs, VVIPs who will not want to spend 3 or 4 hours on the road, who will want to be able to fly to Hoima for those matches. We want to be able to have a very organized transportation system. If you have a conference in Kampala, the borders are clearly an embarrassment and a mess.
So, for instance, we've been asking government to invest heavily in tourism infrastructure. And by tourism infrastructure, I mean road networks, road networks and airports.
Dr. Julius Byeruhanga, the Director of Policy Advocacy at Private Sector Foundation Uganda, advises government to make some tangible sacrifices for MICE tourism to thrive.
You're talking about hotel industry. How many rooms do we have, for instance, between 4-star and 5-star hotel rooms do we have in Kampala? Less than 1,000. So you want to increase tourism potential, but you're increasing the cost of housing. So how do you expect now investors to invest in the private sector, to invest in high-end hotels?
It is crystal clear that MICE tourism has the potential to boost Uganda's economy. But do guests get value for their money when we host them? How many of them come back and how many events return to the country?
The strategy we are using as well is really to get the different ministries and agencies of government. We have done an education program with them to make them aware of what MICE is, the importance of it.
But still there is more that needs to be done. We still need government to invest more in marketing of this country. We need a bigger marketing budget. We need a bigger budget for MICE.
The global mice market is projected to reach $1.4 trillion in 2025 and $1.7 trillion in 2030. For Uganda to claim its fair share of this market, it has to do more than the ordinary, and that means investing more in its destination enablers. Diano Olwen-Peters, UBC News.
Well, thank you very much there, Peter. Now, in the area of land evictions, residents of Namibia-Uganda village and Mpigi Town Council are grappling with an aftermath of violent attacks allegedly orchestrated by one of the landlords. The assault, carried out by unidentified individuals armed with sticks and machetes, left a trail of destroyed crops, damaged property, and a community living in fear.
Residents accuse Awandu Talo, a resident of Chengira, and Kakika Yekodia of orchestrating the attack.
Esawa zino yazze n'asenda emmere yaffe nga bwe mugiraba, ebitooke byonna baabisaaye, kasooli waffe ne bamutema ne bamutwala.
Joseph Kenneth Kajumba, a resident of the area, lamented the loss of their food and crops, expressing his concern on the way forward for many whose property was destroyed.
Tulina omwami yatuguza bamuyita akakikka mpulira waliwo famire enkayana twabasabadde ebyapa babireete tulaba twegule mu kifo ky'okuleeta ebyapa bazze kusenda busenzi. Embeze w'eggwanga tetwagala kujja kwekalakasa ku parliament ffe ng'abalabe bakola, ateekemu amaanyi mu b'obuyinza bakwasa obuyinza eno bayambe abantu.
Naye mutuyambe mutudduukirire kubanga tulina buyambi.
Namibia residents are now pleading with the authorities for immediate intervention.
Yambiya lazima nga nga mpya zigira ziti tugamba tukoze iti ingogo yemmere yaffe nga bwe mugiraba
ne Jambia ne Twakita nasawa bitooke kasooli muogo.
Speaking to UBC TV, Sempala Chigozi, resident district commissioner of Mpigi district, condemned the attack and promised to ensure that justice prevails.
Abaddewo wali okumpi ye bamusibye emiguwa ne bamuwamba, n'abalala ne bakola ki ne babasibye emiguwa, bazze ne bakifeesi nga bawera abantu nga 10.
Ebyakolebwa byabadde bikyamu tebisobola kutambula bwebyo. Naye nabo wadde amagezi gamu bw'abeera nga yakoze destructions ku birime byabwe.
Meanwhile, police has confirmed the arrest of Awan Kakika, who allegedly sold the land to the residents. He now faces multiple charges.
Meanwhile, byakika tumuguddeko emisango eri ng'esatu, waliwo gwa malicious damage guli contrary to section 312 subsection 1, tumugulako no gwa threatening violence section 77, ne gwa criminal trespass section 282. nga bwe tunamaliriza fayiro tugenda gisindika omuwabira wa government atuwabule ku kibadde ku fayiro eno.
Sekaja Jamil compiled this report.
Now, in the area of public service, government has lifted a ban on the recruitment of district heads of departments and heads of seeds schools across the country. This decision comes after the completion of a special audit on government payroll and validation of public servants nationwide. During a media briefing in Kampala, senior officials from the Ministry of Public Service also discussed the salary enhancements for security agencies.
Of prisons. The Deputy Inspector General of Police and Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, who are specified officers in accordance with the Salaries and Allowances Act 1999, were enhanced by 77% of the approved long-term pay targets. This is to bring them at par with other specified officers. Other police and prison officers from the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police, Assistant Commissioner General of Prisons, to a police constable, prison wardress, were enhanced at 40% of the approved long-term pay targets.
What government has enhanced is according to the individual's long-term pay target. For example, where the long-term pay target for a constable was 1.3 million, we have now paid 40% of that 1.3 million.
The agencies whose acts have been amended as advised to extend the contracts of staff for 3 months up to 30th September 2024. During this period, the responsible officer should ensure that all staff take their outstanding leave before the 30th of September 2024, failure of which will mean they have chosen to forfeit it. The agencies whose bills are pending legislation, on the other hand, are advised to extend the contracts of staff for 6 months up to 30th of December 2024.
Now, the third edition of Northern Uganda Agricultural Trade Show has kicked off in Gulu City under the theme Unlocking Opportunities, Innovation for Poverty Alleviation and Wealth Creation. The General Secretary of the Uganda Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, Grace Musamali, says the exhibition is going to take off and give offered as a platform for farmers to explore and be exposed to the agri-business ideas in Acholi sub-region.
Secretary of the Uganda Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, Grace Musimami, has called upon farmers in Acholi sub-region to explore agribusiness ideas in their region.
You'll find that one of the theme parts is about innovation, unlocking opportunities and innovations.
During the third edition of Northern Uganda Agriculture and Trade Show in Gulu City, Grace Musimami emphasized that the trade show in Northern Uganda will address some of the emerging challenges in the agricultural sector. Musimami applauded Uganda Development Bank for promoting green, which is going to help in addressing the issues of climate change.
Looking at people, that's why you see, and partners are offering climate smart technologies like irrigation, and these are available now. This is a clear indication that we are addressing the emerging problem of climate change.
The resident city commissioner, Gulu City, Jane Francis, emphasized agricultural mechanization.
Meaning that the people of Noya woke up long time, and maybe their leaders also kept on encouraging them. Some of our places like Amoro, even when we had wanted to do some of these things, people were skeptical. Whenever an investor would want to come, they say, you're coming to steal our land. We are going, but let's wake up now and go mechanization.
Uganda Coffee Development Authority Region Manager Moses Asimwe called on farmers and the community to take coffee production more seriously, other than relying on traditional crops to increase cash flow.
We expect that from here we are going to have many people who will be demanding for planting materials and who will start up many coffee plantations.
Samuel Baker is the regional manager, UDB.
Collateral is no longer an issue because we have an arrangement where we not only take the formal collateral, but we also take the informal collateral, that is a land sales agreement. All we need is some kind of verification and valuation to see how much the value can fetch, and we extend such to them.
And in science and innovation, researchers in Uganda have been tasked to venture into implementary research for the benefit of the communities and the country at large, rather than keeping it to their shelves. Various speakers highlighted this issue during the annual Research and Innovation 2024 held at Sanitation University.
We are not complete until we do research and innovation.
Researchers, academia and students have converged in large numbers at Sanitation University Mengo campus in Kampala to attend the annual Research and Innovation Symposium, aimed at ensuring sustainable productivity to communities and development of the country through science and innovation.
It is an opportunity for both students and staff to showcase what they are doing in their respective units. This year we have had about 80 paper abstracts coming through, 15 innovative ideas.
During the symposium, researchers were tasked to seek solutions that are formidable, applicable, and implementable.
But also in encouraging faculties to mentor young people and even staff to be actively involved in research. And not only research for putting on shelves, but research for transformation.
As researchers, as innovators, whatever we do now, the work that we have done, this is just the beginning. That's why you must publish so that the world gets to know that this.
The Principal Research and Innovations Officer at NEMA, Dr. Richard Komakech, cited the need for more interventions in regard to research and innovation to equip Ugandans with knowledge, more so on environment conservation.
Without research, that's why people talk of nonsense, because there's no research. If we had done research well, none of us would right now be talking about what? Nonsense. We would have known the importance of keeping off nonsense. We will not be talking about the fish dying in the lakes right now. All those things are happening because of lack of research and what? Innovations.
Ndeje University Vice Chancellor Professor Nasaka Banja urged the youth to involve themselves in science and innovations, saying it's the way to go worldwide.
And where we are in the world today, we cannot exist if we do not look ahead in the ways in which we can live, survive for the next 10 years, 50 years, and even the generations to come. And that is the responsibility of us.
Participants appreciated the efforts invested to ensure science and innovation for sustainability of communities and the country at large is adhered to.
Our research is going to make us more relevant to the community because they will always be looking to us to find solutions, not only scientific solutions, but even socio-economic solutions.
The second annual Research and Innovation Symposium 2024 was held under the theme Science and Innovation for Enhancing Sustainable Productivity. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Now, religious leaders and elders have been advised to nurture children with good morals in their different societal settings. This advice was given by Sheikh Mohammed Katende, who led Juma prayers at Masjid Jumia in Mutungo.
During Juma prayers, which were attended by over 1,000 Muslims from different parts of Kampala, the congregation was advised on the importance of nurturing children with good morals. Sheikh Muhammad Katende, who led Juma prayers at Masjid Jumia in Mutungo, noted that good morals promote harmony.
Good morals actually creates harmony between people, between community members, whereby when you are morally behaved, you attract people to come and consult you.
He further advised people to work hard and to also be job creators in order to eradicate poverty.
When we analyze conduct in Islam, it's very important. Where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized it more and said that all Muslims should have good morals.
Katende also called upon Muslims to participate in community activities such as building mosques and helping the needy.
We have the elderly people. They are also expected to give the guidance to the younger ones.
Mariam Abdurakim, the assistant Amil, appealed to parents, especially mothers, to mentor their children with good morals. She also urged leaders not to delegate their responsibilities.
Abaana babakuzanga balinga baggwanga nga buli muntu avunaanyizibwa kyenkanyi. Naye olwaleero omwana wange nze kaamuzaala. Alhamdulillah twali tufunye olwaleero ebadde ya mpisa mulungi
batusomesezza ku mpisa ziwedde mu baana baffe ziwedde mu bantu baffe tusaba Allah atutatutupa gye tufunye olwaleero tufunemu ebyokuyiga empisa kintu kikulu nnyo kubanga nenabbi
Now, in just a minute, just a few hours after the appointment by President Museveni to chair the Petroleum Authorities Board, Mrs. Linda Biribonwa and the team that she will lead for 4 years has been inaugurated. The board members, some freshly appointed and others serving their second and last term, were tasked to deliver fast commercial oil as per the 2025 timeframe.
The Petroleum Authority of Uganda has inaugurated its new board of directors. The 7-member board, which will serve for a 4-year term, is chaired by Ms. Linda Biribonwa, who was appointed yesterday by President Yoweri Museveni. While presiding over the inauguration, the State Minister for Energy, Okasai Opolot, highlighted the tasks ahead concerning the development of the oil and gas sector.
We want the oil out. And here they say as soon as possible. To me, I'm not satisfied with as soon as possible. It is vague. I actually want to see the oil out before the end of 2025. And I'm the type who wants to bring everything forward. I don't want it to go later. I really don't like delayed things. We have had those types of things, but we have got to try to be in tandem with the targets that we have set.
Okasai's sentiments were echoed by Irene Batebe, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Batebe underscored the need for the board to hit the ground running in order to ensure Uganda meets its commercial oil production targets.
The other aspect I wanted to highlight is the board, this board, which constitutes of both new members but also another part of the board that is going to serve its second term, are coming in at a very critical moment as we move to attain fast oil, meaning that their job or their work is already clear-cut, and they must hit the road running, because we're already in motion and they need to quickly hit the road running, understand the work that we are doing.
Ms. Biribonwa, who had served as a member of the previous board before being promoted, expressed enthusiasm for the role, noting that while the assignment is challenging, it is also exciting.
I am confident that the board will exercise its mandate to ensure the objectives of the authority are met in regulating and monitoring the oil and gas sector. On behalf of the board, I would like to congratulate you all, Honorable Minister, the PS and the Ministry on the achievements of the key milestones achieved to date in the sector, and pledge the board's unwavering commitment and support going forward.
Other members of the board are Dr. Kevin Monje, Adrian Bukenya, Doreen Kabasindi, Bernard Ongodia, Professor Vincent Bajire, Salome Galiwango, and Mary Oduka Achan, Dennis Igoa, and Juman Samba for UBC News.
The Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, is wholly owned by the Government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has two subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company URHC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited, NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage, and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, ECOP. ECOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development, and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Nwoya, and Bulisa, and Kingfisher development projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bulisa and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Ginger Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa like baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Predict the outcome of 10 football games and win big with tickets at only 500 shillings. Play for this Monday's draw to stand a chance to win big with Sports Stake 10.
Buy your tickets at authorized shops on nationallottery.go.ug to download the app or simply dial *278#.
Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to invest in agribusiness, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, health and education to improve the quality of life of Ugandans. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
We can do better.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Welcome back. Time for business, and with Kampala Capital City Authority in partnership with Uganda Breweries Limited has unveiled a modern sanitation block in Bukoto Market. The facility, valued at 130 million Ugandan shillings, will serve the market vendors and the wider community.
Bukoto Market has welcomed this much-needed facility, provided through a collaborative effort between KCCA and Uganda Breweries.
What has been done is also creating wealth to our people, because they spend some of their money on treatment, on ailments that are brought about by the bad or the poor sanitation conditions.
By providing clean and accessible sanitation facilities, the two entities aim to enhance the living standards of the traders, and the majority of whom are women. Dorothy Chisaka, the executive director of KCCA, highlighted the significance of the project.
This market holds or has 323 vendors, and in the past they have had 2 stances only. But this facility now has given them 8 stances, 2 for people with disabilities 4 for ladies and 2 for the gentlemen. So we are so delighted and very grateful to UBL for this very generous gift, and I've urged the vendors to utilize it well and look after it so that it continues to serve them for a long time.
According to the project funder, UBL, the sanitation block represents more than just a facility. It signifies an investment in the health and prosperity of Bukoto Market and its residents.
We have one in Katwe, Mulago, Mengo, Luakulabye, Chireka, Natete, Lubiri, Namuongo, and more. So we don't just go anywhere. We come and ask for advice on where the need is, and as the Lord Mayor said, there was a team that came together, and in partnership with the mayor, they came up with Bukoto.
The neighboring community and the traders have been empowered to take good care of the facility in order to ensure it achieves its intended goals.
Still in business, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has given out agricultural equipment to 81 districts. This was at the Ministry of Agriculture stores in Wandegeya, Kampala. The equipment is aimed at improving quality and quantity of oilseeds in Uganda.
Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries Frank Tumwebaze has emphasized the importance of allocating loans to visible projects like agricultural machinery and equipment for better accountability. This was during a function to hand over agricultural equipment to 81 districts.
I'm happy, clap for the project people now. Yes. But if it's just consultancy, what can I launch with the consultancy? Same story, agriculture is the mainstay of the economy of Uganda. Then you write Professor Science. So, and you pay more money to consultancies. This is what we want. Every project, whether donor money, whether grant, whether domestic money, that does not prioritize actual tools of work and actual infrastructure, me, I will not support it.
Major General David Kasura, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, lauded the initiative of supporting oilseed production as one of the strategies to transform Uganda into a middle-class economy.
As we know, the national strategic goal of Uganda is to transform our country from a predominantly peasant society to a modern, middle-class and knowledge-based society. In this one, out of this goal, MAIF has a goal, a mission, which is to really transform our people from being peasant agriculturalists to commercial farmers.
Project Manager, National Oilseed Project, Chris Gumisirize, says that the tool and equipment will be utilized by the district extension workers in the 81 beneficiary districts with an aim of increasing production and productivity of oilseeds.
Madam Minister, the project aims at increasing production and productivity of oilseeds, mainly focusing on sunflower, groundnuts, sesame, and soybean. Madam Minister, the project is in 1 district, and all of them are here. We are in a West Nile hub that is composed of 12 districts.
For the support, and this is going to aid us in making sure that the extension staff reach the farmers, to the grassroots, so as to advise them, train them on technologies that will lead to the production and productivity.
Charity Nahabwe compiled this report.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye enamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si y'abafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together, we're unstoppable.
Welcome into the world of sports. Uganda athletes still on Olympics. Uganda Olympic Committee has assigned 2 memorandums of understanding, all aimed at a better environment through sports in the Race to Zero initiative.
The Olympic Committee has become a signatory to 2 declarations purposed to make the world a better place through environmental conservation.
We are very committed, Oklabat, Abemizanyo and also the federations, putting initiatives. We have a Race to Zero activity, so they're able to reduce their carbon footprint, Noctas Obutonde. So we are, for example, reducing the use of paper, the use of plastic. The Kitia phase is more biodiversity friendly. So we're trying to do a number of initiatives to ensure that sport makes its contribution to halt climate change and protect our biodiversity.
This in itself is a fundamental principle of Olympism, which insists on placing sport at the harmonious development of humankind. One of the memorandums of understanding was with International Union for Conservation of Nature, which encompasses Sports for Nature framework. The other was a United Nations framework for climate change, which calls for sports for climate action.
I'm really happy to be here to be a partner in signing the the Sports for Nature framework that aims to deliver transformative nature positive action across sports by 2030 and beyond. And it's also really looking at how can we support sports to be a nature positive atmosphere. As you all know, the environment keeps changing. The sportsmen require the best in terms of their well-being, and that is achieved through being in a very good environment.
Other partners in this positive environmental cause include Olympic Solidarity, Sports for Nature, United Nations Environment Programme, Makerere University, and National Forestry Authority.
We are here as NFA today trying to integrate forest conservation into sports. We are here to share a message of forest conservation. We realize that our sportsmen and women can only be healthy when they are living in a healthy environment.
This monumental milestone was achieved by Uganda Olympic Committee through its Sustainability Through Sports Commission.
Now, swimming coaches in Uganda have completed a week-long course at the Georgina Gardens in Lubia. The course was led by Adam Knight, a certified international coach who helped teach local trainees essential skills to improve swimming quality in Uganda.
Swimming is one of the most essential elements one is required to have. This week, the founder of Angel Swim London, Adam Knight, visited Uganda to help add on to the knowledge of swim coaches in the country. This program started on Monday 15th and concluded Friday 19th July 2024 at the Georgina Gardens in Lubia. The president of the Uganda Life Saving Association is grateful for the skills the trainees have received during the 5-day training sessions.
This training is climaxing today when we are finishing the course with our 26 teachers who have undergone swimming teaching instruction and also learning how to do water safety for children, beginners, intermediate and advanced. We get the basics and fundamentals of teaching swimming in Uganda through our teachers, swimming coaches, the general public and other higher institutions of learning. Before we have someone going for Olympics, we need to have to do everything right, basically, and make sure that our swimming levels go higher and the safety measures are in place.
More than 25 trainees will be able to put into practice what they learned, and many are grateful for the additional knowledge that they have acquired during this training.
Well, the value for the STA has been to empower the swim teachers in Uganda, especially those who were not aware of their new skills.
The best thing that I've gained from this is how to handle children of different age groups and how to plan for them better during their swim sessions.
It has been a very fundamental course on my life as a lifeguard, as a swim teacher, because I have now gained more of professional skills and step-by-step on how to teach the little ones, the intermediate, and even advanced swimmers.
More than 3,000 cases of drowning are recorded in the country annually, and Adam Knight assured that that number will reduce because of the knowledge of swimming experienced he has passed on to these coaches.
This is all about helping children and adults learn how to swim and fight the terrible drowning statistics which are here in this country. Over 3,000 people every year in Uganda drown, and this is only the ones that are recorded. There are many which go unrecorded as well. So hopefully in the future, in partnership with guys like George and other lifesavers, we'll train many more swimming teachers in the future and help to reduce drowning statistics here in Uganda.
The trainees were awarded certificates and medals for their participation in the training. The ceremony was graced by the Vice President of the Uganda Swimming Federation, Coach Tony Kasuja of Dolphin Swim Club. Swimming is consistently growing in Uganda, and the knowledge acquired by these trainees will not only improve the betterment of skills in the country, but also create a safe aquatic environment for all Ugandans. Mashamiro Victor, UBC News.
And that winds up our bulletin, News Tonight at 8. We will catch up with you a little bit later at 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Yusuf Senyamo has been with us on sign language. Stay with us.